Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This channel is mainly about some guitar playing, guitar cover, and some history, some literature stuff, and the literature stuff. Um, it's 2024, May the 6th. Let's get started. Hopefully, I'm gonna cover like maybe 30 pages. Yeah, I'm gonna have cover the first 30 pages of this book is called Deutsche Geschichte in 19th Jahrhundert. Means that German history in 19th century was written by Dieter Heine. Dieter Heine, Heine, a great professor in the Gauser University am Main. Oh no, in Frankfurt, the University of Frankfurt on the River Main, on the River Main. So, okay, sorry. Uh, the pre-start. First chapter, Revolutionary Era. Perhaps, if the historian want to conclude themselves, if to conclude this half century, this early half century of 19th century, the most significant character, well, was the first concept that was emerged in their mind will be revolution. This era was defined by uh, this era because the emphasis of this transition was unprecedented, unprecedented. Because this era, so um, the reason why this era is defined as the revolution era because the emphasis well is because its emphasis is this transition was unprecedented and unprecedentedly important. Okay, it it will differentiate the uh, the period of time that just passed by with the more ancient even with the part of history that's so far away, that's ancient history, or more or less, and the the American Revolution will be more or less mentioned, and the American Revolution was even uh, the outbreak of American Revolution is earlier than the French Revolution, the Révolution Française. Okay. At the meantime, the historian also emphasizes the scale of this kind of transition. The scale attracts people, attracts the population. For them, the change first of the change is the monarchy system was viewed in the past. The monarchy system was viewed as a sacred internal system so that is impact, and that internal, that sacred, that holiness is being questioned. It's going diminished, and the monarchy system is challenged by the popular sovereignty, by the idea of popular sovereignty. But but what comes with it is the always always uh always suppressive, like randomly outburst, this kind of violence conflict about this revolutionary transition. Everything was in an unprecedented transition, in the shift, moving, they're floating, they're mobilizing, and 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 things began to change staggering staggering rate. The flow of time seems to be going faster, like like the speed up, but the way out is still unclear. The future is open, but also you can sculpture on them. You can make them. You can shape. You can shape the future. You can. They are waited for you to shape it. They waited for you to shape it. The argument in political seems to be clarifying that nowadays it's not only to reconstruct a legitimate system, but also fight for the future, but also like taking the battlefield, like take a stand, capture some ground in the future, capture the future ground. Yes, the political concept was not uh, the, the sole raised political concept did not also demand not only no sorry, wait a minute. They did not wa- they did not they don't want sorry what about that the political concept raised was not to give a proper explanation for some practical realistic problem but be ready to answer all the questions all the questions about future the ultimate question about future and humankind. All this all this prejudge, all this judgment, choice, and explanation shared still shared as a core value by modern historians. Besides that, although Leopold von Ranke Leopold von Ranke said the unlimited development of materialism in the 19th century as foundation, seen as the foundation of sustainable development, is raised a lot of eyebrows, raised a lot of, attract a lot of attention. But material was emphasized was something other besides than the political revolution. The fundamental change, the fundamental transition of the fundamental economic transitions, most important revolutionary factor, especially this kind of double revolution concept. In the case of Germany, in the case of Deutschland, this concept just is not true. It doesn't reflect the truth, doesn't reflect the history of Germany. In Germany, the political revolution and the economic revolution didn't happen at the same time, but they have, but rather on a prioritize under on a, who comes first and who comes later. They didn't happen at the same time. They did happen though, uh, but for the revolutionary challenge and the transition of the first half century of 19th century, first half of the 19th century, you cannot see that it's the economic structure transition was led to to the uh, to the political yeah didn't contribute to all this kind of revolution stuff. Called the insurrections, severe important social changes didn't. You cannot say that initially was the economic structure transition that contributed to kind of all this kind of a movement in the first place. The German economic and the German economic revolution era ends at 1848 to 1849. That is the 48 revolution, that democracy revolution spread all across Europe. Before that, the industrial revolution had a triumph in Central Europe. Okay, this is the subchapter, the subchapter of the first chapter, the collapse of the hierarchy, feudal society. If 19th century, if early 19th century revolutionary view if use the perspective of early 19th century to look back to medieval and early modern society, then it didn't make much difference. They both construct, they both um, built built together a isolated pre-modern society. The pre-modern society was deeply rooted in was deeply rooted in the hierarchy system. The hierarchy system is deeply rooted in the, more specifically, um, entitlement, your rank. Perhaps you're a duke, you're a knight or something. That it means when you are born, you belong to certain classes, social classes. And also this kind of hierarchy system also reassure, not reassure, also dictate the individual life, the life and the life track, the the, uh, the things you have access to, like the movement you can you cannot leave the farm, you can leave out to like go to several to like go to certain places, go to some cities 100 miles away. You can travel. You belong to this house. You belong to this to this piece of, maybe you say, buy-in, and the the Bavaria ones, maybe the Brandenburg, the Polish, the Prussia land, this particular land, and oh, and the law studies, profession. You are artisan. You're craftsman, carpenter, like social status, and even the thing you wear, the movement is appropriate movement for you. The appropriate movement for you. Festival and entertainment. This solid, the silent hierarchy rule has double meaning. First, it will solidify the current social hierarchy system, and also you can also it can distribute food and employment opportunity during an economic struggle period. But clearly, this is an ideal illustration, an ideal imagination that contradicts the historical fact. Different areas and different era has a huge or a little differences with has a difficult fitting in this standard hypothesis with degree or more or less. Uh, other and also you cannot ignore this point that the hierarchy systems, the the maker of the hierarchy system can can handle can handle things like war, pandemic, or climate change, or something that is disturbing the system from outside. Is trying to intervene in the system, and also the new coming economic circumstances, like the new crops, potatoes introduced into Russia by the Catherine the Great, Catherine the Second, the queen of Tsar, a great Tsar though. Not great for the Ukrainians, not great for Bogachev, not great for Bogachev because Bogachev, not great for Turks though. She was not great for China also. He expanded to Siberia. Wow, what aggressive women. Okay. Um. Yeah. Oh, they can handle all this, etc. All these things I mentioned earlier with a certain kind of flexibility. They can treat it with confidence. they can handle it with confidence, handle those things. Nevertheless, the historian society has a common idea that something is going on, accelerating itself. This revolution in motion, revolution in action, revolution in time. So the revolution now in action. It started at uh, the, the, the later part of the 18th century. When the research side still focusing on national behavior, the traditional historical uh, historical traditional history research will have academic still focusing on the monarchy system, on the reform of monarchy system. This is a crucial change. This is the crucial part of change started at the later part of uh, the bright monarchies, the open monarchies. They are the great monarchies. They didn't do horrible things. They endorse, advocate reforms, free reforms like the Prussians and Prussia under uh, the Friedrich, the Friedrich II, and Österreich, Austria under Joseph II. But they have to admit, until today, we can clearly find why the hierarchy society collapsed, why the hierarchy system collapsed. To put it in a strict manner, is when a lot of the countless different fields they intertwine with each other. They do both, all of them function together. The hierarchy system began to collapse piece by piece, and the new society began to shoot its root. About 1780, about before and after 1780, the period, people hardly realized that they lived in a furious and radical change, and this vigility, this passion, those vibrations they got, this vibe they got. How they figure out? Oh, I live in such an environment, such an era. The most point, aha. So you have to talk about French Revolution. So this book is also trying to make a point that the Germans are as progressive as the French. They think they both share the Enlightenment. They want to advocate for this one. They want to put it in real life practice. But I mean, to be honest, to be fair, this author is great. He's neutral. Didn't tell he tell you about his political historical narrative in the first place. He's very fair. Um, but the majority German mainstream German ideology is still about the Prussia idea, about the small Germany unification plan was build a Germany based on the leader of Prussia, made Germany Prussia, not Prussia Germany. So they want to do this kind of justification, like uh, um, the common like this the following about the most significant events about how people live between 1788 1780 to realize they live in a radical they live in an era of radical change uh, and 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 brilliant without a brilliant brilliant vibe is this one. This one is called the frequent comment made by the German towards the French Revolution, towards the events happening in the French Revolution, like the trembling face of the permanent destiny of the French shocked all of us. This was comment made by Karl Ludwig von Kneber. Knebel, the Saxon Weimar Palace, the Saxon Weimar teacher in charge of teaching the prince, sent it to the 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 Duchess Anna Amalia. He pointed out furthermore. In fact, this the French Revolution is is harmful. It's contributing. It's doing a negative impact. It's doing a negative. It's not. It's not good. It's hurting the Enlightenment and all the progressive movement made in this century. And it's true. It's true. The idea of French Revolution was great, but how it's been carried out is it's just terrifying. It's just horrible. So uh, let me add something to this. The Enlightenment era, the Enlightenment movement is just doing it's doing its job. No, sorry, it's not. The Enlightenment movement is taking a steady step by step. It's taking steady step one by one. Um, well, if the French Revolution was ended in peace, then it was very good. Then it's welcome to everyone. But the French Revolution was so violent and so chaos. So, from this quote from Clarenier, you can also recognize the people have seen the core motivation of the Enlightenment movement, the rational discovery, the explanation. I'm sorry, it's explore in a rational manner towards all the knowledge in the world, and make a rational judgment and judge the world in a rational sense. Make thus that make the Enlightenment movement create a crucial pre prejudgment for changing the world, pre circumstances for changing the world, like the 1783 Immanuel Kant, like he defined. Quality. Hmm. So the human getting the sense liberated from this ignorance status that is being imposed by ourselves on ourselves. The human are liberated from this ignorance status that is being imposed on ourselves by ourselves. This is the important definition of Immanuel Kant. And something that is derived from an, a series of long-term a series of discussions that derived from that the same and the definition of Immanuel Kant that becomes more clear and sharp, that become clear and tough, are crucial and they're critical. They're critical. First, it's the doubt, the questioning of the Christianity faith. There, it's question of Christianity, as Christianity, the Christianity, and the question of the social morality has to fit the will of God. The concept of this such question the concept of question the question the view of question the view which social morality has to fit in the will of God. In other words, question the clergy and the nobles, the aristocracy and the nobles and the clergy, the church has a dominant, their dominant, their dominant society, their dominant status. Why they're dominant? They're dominant for no reason to them other than this. Like they claim they have, they are the connector from you ordinary people with Almighty Jesus Christ. Almighty Jesus Christ, and some judgment to the monarch of a monarchy of like maybe I'll make an example here. The French king Louis XIV. He claimed himself a humble Louis XIV. He claimed that himself is call himself the Sun King, and he is God chosen. His power was permitted, was like authorized by God, and this kind of uh, the monarch was God. Was basically this idea was about the monarchy is God. It's a living God. So the God has legitimate to rule everything he sees. But these three major questions, the question of Christianity, the question of why the aristocracy and the clergy has do they really represent God? Like, and do the monarchy is authorized, their holy status is recognized by God? Are they really representative? Do they really a delegate of the God? So they're seeking for new legitimacy, for new legitimate ruling, uh, ruling approach, new way of living. Okay, so that's all for today. Only finished 4 hours. Another principal question. Let me finish this one. So the Enlightenment movement still has a practical function or influence, that reasoning hypothesis, the rational hypothesis that push knowledge, push the development of knowledge, of scientific knowledge, especially on the nature science, on the development and the gain, the learning of, and the nature science, and also economic affairs of also being put into practice, experiment, and enlargement in scale, and an enlarged scale. The agricultural plantation, the approach, the method to plant, how to do agriculture using the natural force like canal, irrigation, fertilizer, not fertilizer. Yeah, interesting one. Um, Phosphate. Yes. That's one. I learned from the biology class. There's a little island, the bird poop. The bird poop was a great fertilizer until Germany invented the first chemical fertilizer. So America actually tried to fight an island, maybe in Chile or Argentina, in the coast of South America. There's islands full of bird poop. Stinks. Okay, let me see. Anyway, using natural force and mine resources, mineral resources, the technology, and the management, the commercial management pattern regard to trade. Also included in the national, no national, um, yeah, national economic series, innovation of national economic series, like the theory brought out by Adam Smith. By Adam Smith, liberal. Liberal thinks that I don't know what. There's one phrase in France that's "let it go, let it be." Like the phrase, big government didn't care. No, no, the government pays subsidy, but no intervention. Let it grow by itself. This kind of thing was derived from Adam Smith. Okay, that's all for today. Have a nice day, buddies. And if you do listen to all I say, please comment for some discussion. I'm more than welcome for you to please some comment to tell something that maybe I can do something to prove, or if you have something about enlightenment or this 19th century stuff, I'm looking forward to reply you. I'm here 24/7, 365. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.